Imagine waking up on the most ordinary morning of your life. The sun is rising. The market is opening. Children are laughing in the streets. You have no idea that within hours, everything you love, every street, every face, every sound, will be gone forever. Buried, frozen, silenced. This is not a myth. This is not a legend. This happened to real people, in a real city, on one catastrophic day in 79 AD. What if the most perfectly preserved secret in human history has been hiding beneath volcanic ash for 2,000 years? And we are only now uncovering the truth. Why did thousands of people refuse to run? What did they see in those final moments? And why does Pompeii still hold secrets no archaeologist can explain? Who were these people really? Were they rich? Were they free? Or were they slaves trapped in a city that was already dying long before the volcano struck? Why did Mount Vesuvius give clear warnings for days, and yet almost no one left? Was it ignorance, bravery, or something far darker that kept them in place? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, could it happen again? Could a modern city vanish just as completely, just as suddenly, just as permanently as Pompeii? Chapter 1. The City Before the Fire. To understand what was lost, you must first understand what Pompeii was, and it was extraordinary. Pompeii was not a village. It was a thriving Roman city of 20,000 people, a place of commerce, culture, passion, and ambition. Located in southern Italy near the Bay of Naples, Pompeii sat at a crossroads of trade routes that connected the entire Mediterranean world together. Ships arrived daily, carrying olive oil, wine, garum, the famous fermented fish sauce Romans loved, grain, pottery, silk, and slaves from distant lands. The streets were paved with large flat stones, worn smooth by thousands of footsteps. Stepping stones crossed the roads so feet stayed dry above street water. Pompeii had everything a Roman citizen could desire: bathhouses, theaters, temples, a massive amphitheater seating 20,000. This city knew how to live. The Forum stood at the heart of it all, a grand open plaza surrounded by columns, government buildings, temples, the beating civic heart of the city. Wealthy merchants lived in sprawling houses with painted gardens, mosaic floors, and indoor fountains. Even middle-class families had decorated walls and comfortable courtyards. But beneath all this beauty, Pompeii carried a shadow. The mountain to the north, Vesuvius, loomed over everything, and nobody truly understood what it was. Chapter 2. The Mountain No One Feared. To the people of Pompeii, Mount Vesuvius was not a threat. It was a blessing, a giver of life. The volcanic soil surrounding Vesuvius was extraordinarily fertile. Vineyards and olive groves covered its slopes, producing some of the finest wine in all of Rome. Farmers had worked these slopes for generations. The mountain fed them. The mountain enriched them. The mountain, they believed, was simply part of their world. The Romans had no concept of a volcano. They had no word for it. They did not know that the mountain was a sleeping giant of unimaginable, destructive power. Vesuvius had not erupted in over 1,000 years. Its last major eruption was so long ago that no living memory, no written record, preserved the warning. Geologists today would classify Vesuvius as one of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. In 79 AD, it was classified as nothing more than a green, peaceful hill. There were signs, though. Earthquakes had shaken the region for years. In 62 AD, 17 years before the eruption, a massive quake devastated Pompeii severely. Buildings had collapsed. Pipes had cracked. Water had vanished from wells. The city spent years rebuilding, and the rebuilding was still incomplete when disaster finally came. In the days before the eruption, wells went dry. Animals behaved strangely. The ground trembled constantly. The mountain was whispering its warning. Nobody listened at all. Chapter 3. The Day the Sky Turned Black. August 24th, 79 AD. It began as a perfectly normal late summer morning in southern Italy. The markets were open. Bread was baking. Gladiators were training. Children were running through the streets. Merchants were counting coins behind wooden stalls. Then, at approximately 1 in the afternoon, the mountain exploded. Not with lava, not slowly, but with a force equal to 100,000 atomic bombs. A column of ash, rock, and superheated gas erupted upward 30 kilometers into the sky, higher than modern commercial aircraft fly today. The sky turned black. The Roman writer Pliny the Younger watched from across the bay at Misenum. He described the eruption column as looking like a massive umbrella pine tree reaching heaven. For hours, ash and pumice rained down on Pompeii like a gray snowstorm. Roofs began to crack under the weight. People fled, or they sheltered inside. Some citizens grabbed valuables and ran toward the sea. Others crowded into cellars, bathhouses, and temples, believing the solid walls would protect them from the sky. The pumice stones falling from the sky were the size of walnuts. They struck skin and skulls. They filled streets knee-deep within the first few hours. Darkness fell over Pompeii at midday. Not the darkness of night, but a total, suffocating blackness that turned the city into a place of screaming blindness. Pliny the Younger wrote that people tied pillows to their heads with cloth to protect against falling rocks. They walked single file, holding hands through total darkness. Then came something far worse than ash, something the fleeing citizens could not outrun, something science would not fully understand for nearly 2,000 more years. Chapter 4. The Surge That Killed Everything. In the early hours of August 25th, Vesuvius unleashed its most lethal weapon, pyroclastic surges. A pyroclastic surge is a superheated cloud of gas, ash, and rock, traveling at speeds of up to 700 kilometers per hour. Nothing outruns it. The temperature inside a pyroclastic surge can reach 500 degrees Celsius. Every living thing it touches dies in an instant. Not slowly, instantly. The first surge hit Herculaneum, Pompeii's sister city, at approximately 1 in the morning. The entire population died in seconds. Their bones turned black. Pompeii was struck by multiple surges throughout the early morning, each one layering more death, more ash, more silence over the screaming, fleeing city below. Forensic studies of victims found that death was instantaneous. The extreme heat caused immediate brain boiling and muscle contraction. The bodies froze in their final positions. This is why the bodies of Pompeii look like they do. Crouched, curled, reaching. They are not preserved flesh. They are ash-filled cavities in hardened volcanic rock. Giuseppe Fiorelli, the archaeologist who excavated Pompeii in the 1860s, discovered these cavities and had the brilliant idea to pour plaster inside them. The plaster hardened around the perfect void left by a vanished body. And suddenly, 2,000 years after their deaths, the people of Pompeii had faces again. Chapter 5. The people of Pompeii. Over 2,000 bodies have been found in Pompeii. Each one is a story. Each one is a life interrupted. There is the famous cast known as the Garden of the Fugitives. 13 people, including children, huddled together as the surge overtook them at the city gates. There is a man found covering his face with his cloak, alone in a doorway. A woman found clutching an infant to her chest with both arms. There are two figures found together, believed to be lovers, their arms around each other, their faces turned toward one another in the very last moment. Recent DNA analysis overturned a romantic assumption. The two figures, long assumed to be a mother and daughter, were revealed to be two adult males embracing each other. A gladiator was found in chains in his cell, unable to flee. A wealthy woman was found wearing all her finest jewelry, her rings, her gold bracelets, her necklaces. A dog was found still chained to its post, twisted in agony. Its cast is one of the most haunting images in all of archaeological history. Pompeii's victims were not strangers. Modern isotope analysis tells us where people were born. Some locals, some from North Africa, some from Greece, some from the East. Pompeii was a cosmopolitan, multicultural city. It was a melting pot of the ancient world. Roman, Greek, African, Asian. Every empire passed through its streets, and in those streets, frozen beneath meters of volcanic ash, the daily lives of real human beings were perfectly, heartbreakingly, miraculously preserved for us to find. Chapter 6. What the Walls Revealed. Pompeii did not just preserve bodies, it preserved something even more intimate: the private thoughts and voices of its citizens. The walls of Pompeii are covered in graffiti. Over 11,000 individual inscriptions have been recorded, making it the richest collection of ancient street writing ever discovered. People wrote everything: love declarations, insults, election campaigns, jokes, restaurant recommendations, complaints about neighbors, even football-style rivalries between gladiator fan groups. One inscription reads, "Successus the Weaver loves the innkeeper's slave girl named Iris. She doesn't care about him at all, but he begs. She remains unmoved." Another simply reads, "The one who has never been in love can be no gentleman." Someone else scratched beside it. I disagree completely with that sentiment. Political graffiti covered entire walls during election season. Citizens endorsed candidates for local office. Bakers, fullers, fruit sellers, all campaigning through painted street messages. The walls also reveal darker truths. References to slavery are everywhere. Between a third and half of Pompeii's population were enslaved human beings with no freedom at all. Pompeii's famous brothel, the Lupanar, contained explicit wall paintings used as a menu of services. It tells us uncomfortable truths about Roman society and its brutalities, but it also tells us something universal. These were people. They laughed, they loved, they gossiped, they argued, they hoped, just like us, exactly like us. Chapter 7. The food, the flavors, the feasts. Pompeii's kitchens were frozen mid-preparation, and what archaeologists found inside them rewrote culinary history completely. Over 80 thermopolia, ancient fast food counters, have been identified in Pompeii. Romans did not cook at home often. They ate out. Every single day, a thermopolium excavated in 2020 was found perfectly intact. Duck bones, pork, fish, snails, and fava beans were still inside the serving pots set into the stone counter. Painted images on the thermopolium walls showed exactly what food was sold there, a visual menu for customers who could not read. Ancient graphic design in full color. Pompeii's bakeries were equally extraordinary. Over 30 bakeries have been found, complete with millstones, ovens, and in some cases, carbonized loaves of bread still sitting inside. One bakery even contained a donkey skeleton, still harnessed to its millstone. Still working, still turning grain to flour when the ash cloud swallowed everything above. Wine was Pompeii's greatest export. Hundreds of amphorae, large clay storage vessels, have been found stamped with vineyard names from the Vesuvian slopes surrounding the city. Pompeii ate well, Pompeii drank deeply. Pompeii celebrated. And on the morning it died, thousands of people were doing exactly those things, unaware, unhurried, and alive. Chapter 8. The secrets still being uncovered. Here is what most people do not realize. Pompeii is not fully excavated. A third of the city remains buried underground. Archaeologists made the deliberate decision decades ago to stop digging parts of the site, preserving them for future generations with better technology and more precise excavation tools. And those future technologies have arrived. Ground-penetrating radar, multispectral imaging, and 3D scanning are now revealing entire buildings, rooms, and objects without touching a single stone. In 2018, the skeletal remains of 2 men were found in a previously unexcavated area. One a wealthy man, one his slave, both killed mid-escape by a pyroclastic surge. In 2020, an almost perfectly intact ceremonial chariot was discovered outside Pompeii's walls, decorated with bronze and iron fittings, its wood impression preserved in hardened volcanic material. In 2023, archaeologists uncovered a room believed to be a slave quarters, tiny, dark, cramped, containing beds, a wooden chest, and personal items belonging to the enslaved workers. That room told a story no textbook had told before. The enslaved people of Pompeii were real individuals with possessions, with preferences, with small private lives inside their captivity. Every single excavation season reveals something new. A painted room, a hidden garden, a child's toy, a locked strongbox, a shrine. Pompeii refuses to give up its secrets easily. The Great Pompeii Project, a massive EU-funded restoration and excavation initiative, is ensuring that what remains buried will be uncovered with the respect and care it deserves. Chapter 9. The warning we never heard. Pompeii did not just die. It sent a message forward through time. A message written in ash, bone, and silence. Today, nearly 3 million people live within the direct danger zone of Mount Vesuvius, in the very same region where Pompeii stood and burned and disappeared. Vesuvius has not had a major eruption since 1944, but volcanologists say it is not dormant, it is active. The question is not if it will erupt, it is when. The Italian government has evacuation plans for the area. Called the Red Zone, the plan would need to move 700,000 people in 72 hours or fewer. Volcanologists monitoring Vesuvius today describe its behavior as similar to the period just before the 79 AD eruption. Small earthquakes, ground inflation, rising underground temperatures. History is not just the past. It is a mirror, and Pompeii holds that mirror up to us with extraordinary clarity and asks, "Are you paying attention this time?" The people of Pompeii were not foolish. They were human, they saw warnings, and chose comfort over fear. They stayed because leaving felt unnecessary. Does that sound familiar? Scientists estimate that if Vesuvius erupts today at the same scale as 79 AD, modern evacuation systems could save most lives, if the warnings are heeded in time. But history also teaches us that warnings are ignored, that comfort defeats caution, that the ordinary morning always feels too ordinary to be the last one. Always. Chapter 10. What Pompeii means to us. No ancient site on Earth connects us to the past the way Pompeii does. And the reason is devastatingly simple. Every other ruin shows us buildings. Pompeii shows us people, not monuments to kings, not temples to gods, but the Tuesday afternoon of regular human beings, frozen forever. We see their lunch on the counter. We read their love letters on the wall. We see the dog they named and chained. We see the children they carried. Pompeii collapses 2,000 years of distance into something immediate and personal. These are not historical abstractions. These are neighbors. These are versions of us, 2 millennia ago. This is why Pompeii has inspired more books, more films, more artworks, more operas, more novels than almost any other event in ancient history. It speaks to something primal. It speaks to our fear of sudden loss, our terror of the ordinary morning becoming the last morning, our need to be remembered, to leave some trace we existed. The people of Pompeii did not plan to be remembered. They did not carve their names into monuments hoping for immortality. They simply lived, and the volcano remembered them. And now we walk their streets. We read their graffiti. We look at their faces cast in plaster, and we feel something no history book alone can manufacture: connection. Pompeii is not just a tragedy. It is a gift, a time capsule no human hand could have created, a perfect, terrible, magnificent accident of preservation given to us by catastrophe. As you watch this, archaeologists are working in Pompeii's unexcavated zones right now. New rooms, new faces, new stories waiting beneath 19 centuries of silence and volcanic stone. What will they find next? What secrets does the remaining third of this city still hold? What faces are still waiting to be seen again for the very first time? Somewhere beneath that ash, a child's sandal, a merchant's final invoice, a letter never delivered, a meal never finished, a door never opened again. All waiting, still waiting. The volcano took everything from Pompeii in 18 hours, but it also gave us something extraordinary, a window into a world that should have vanished completely and utterly forever. We did not lose Pompeii. We found it, and in finding it, we found something of ourselves, our shared humanity, our fragility, our extraordinary will to live fully until the end. Now I want to hear from you. If you could walk through Pompeii on the morning before the eruption, what one thing would you most want to witness? Tell me below. Drop your answer in the comments, and tell me, do you think the people of Pompeii knew, in their hearts, that something terrible was coming? I genuinely want to know. If this video moved you, if it made you feel something, please like it and share it with someone who loves history. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. Pompeii was frozen in time so that we might remember. And now you will. Thank you for watching. History is never truly gone. It is only waiting to be found again.